Okay, so good evening, everyone. Okay, now this is for the PVH Diploma 2026 Module 3, right? And it's part 2. Last week we did part 1, and this is part 2 that we are looking at. All right, and before we start um, looking at the topic itself, let's do an emotional freedom healing for exams, because there were a few people who have been calling me and messaging me to say that they are kind of scared for the exam. So let's do an emotional freedom healing before we start today's session. All right, let's have our wands. Everyone got your wands with you? If you haven't, do get your wands now. Okay, and put on your ajna. All right, so yeah, you can have your wands with you now. Okay, on your ajna. All right, so let's do emotional freedom healing for exams. Now, let's do exams are scary. I'm afraid to fail. I'm afraid I will not be able to pass this exam. I'm deeply, completely, and consciously accepting myself. Everyone faces exams at some point in life. It can be a job interview or any form. My children faced them. I have faced them before. So exams can feel stressful. They can even feel scary. And sometimes I'm afraid of failing. I'm deeply, completely, and consciously accepting myself. Nothing can stop me from learning. I'm learning from my PVH diploma, and everything I learn is going to my council body. This is just not for an exam. It is for my life and for my growth. I'm deeply, completely, and consciously accepting myself. No time is ever wasted when I'm learning. Every bit of knowledge makes me stronger, wiser, and more confident. I believe in myself. I'm growing. I'm unstoppable. I'm deeply, completely, and consciously accepting myself. PVH exams will be simple because I'm prepared, because I trust myself. I will ace this PVH diploma exams with flying colors. I'm deeply, completely, and consciously accepting myself. God, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we have done this emotional freedom healing. Okay, now last week we stopped on this part on acid reflux. Okay, on heartburn, and then we spoke about, like, how it's like a wear and tear kind of thing when a person who keeps on taking on keep eating acidic food, eventually the splinter there will become weak. So the splinter is like a bouncer. It stops any flow, backflow of the acid. But when over the long run and overuse of this, it becomes weak, and that's when that happens. Now the question, we did this last week. Okay, now the question is, what is the normal pH value of the human body? Is it 7.2 to 7.5, 10 to 12, 3 to 5? Is it A, B, or C? You can put in the chat group or the chat box.
AA.
Okay, someone said A. Anyone else? So A is correct answer. Yeah. So the body is the pH value, it's about 7.2 to 7.5. All right. Now, are lemons acidic? That's a
Yes.
very easy giveaway question,
Yes,
right? Are
madam.
lemon acidic?
Yes.
Yeah. So always says this in every workshop. So lemons are acidic, right? Okay, now the explanation also, like, say for an example, when someone has got ulcer, okay, or stomach issues and all that. So usually hibiscus is known for its cooling and its anti-inflammatory properties. So it helps to soothe the stomach lining, because over in the long run, the stomach lining could have been worn out because of the continuous putting in of the acidic food and the spicy food and all that kind, right? So, and to reduce the acidity and to make it helpful for the stomach ulcer, right? To reduce the stomach ulcer, hibiscus is a good flower to consume before you even have your breakfast. So in the morning, it's good to just wash the hibiscus flower, and after that, eat the whole entire hibiscus flower except the stem. right? Then after that, then you can find that the slowly within after 3 flowers you have taken each day and all that, then you can see that the ulcer will actually reduce and acidity will be reduced as well. Okay, so hibiscus flower has that property of helping stomach ulcers. Okay, so hibiscus flowers are like this. So you don't eat the stem part, but you eat the petals and the stemma and all that, right? So you can eat the whole part of the flower except the stem. So wash it clean and then you can chew on it. Chew and then half an hour later you can have your normal breakfast. Now, the normal pH value of human blood, right, is 7.35 to 7.45, which is slightly alkaline, right? So our body works best when it's alkaline, when its pH value is around 7.3. So at this pH value, right, the cells can also do their work properly. And cells make important things like whatever your body needs, your energy, you transport the blood, and then, also the proteins and all that. So if the pH value is not at the right level, right, the cells cannot work well. And then the body gets sick and all, right? So it's very important. We have to ensure that the body is usually it's in alkaline level, because when it's acidic, that's when you have headache, your stomach issues, and everything else. It goes down, right? And the cells cannot function well. If it rises above 7.5, it's called alkalosis, which is also not good. You see, anything too low and anything too high, it's not. It's just right. Is the best. So 7.35 to 7.45 is ideal, right, for the alkaline level of the body to function well. Anything too high, right, it is not good. Anything too low, which is like, like 3, 4, and 5 and all that, is too low, and that's not good either. It's too acidic, right? So lemons are acidic, and lemon juice has the property of the, because of the citric acid in there, and it's acidic as well. Okay, now we are going to look at spleen organ. Today we'll go a little bit fast because we really have to finish part 2 today, and I have about 100 over slides actually, right? So that's why. Okay, now spleen organ, an organ that is very important. It plays an important role like a recycling center for the blood, right? So the red blood cells will die every 120 days and will pass through the spleen, and they go to the spleen gland, and then the spleen will recover whatever iron and throw all the rest to the liver, right? When they don't throw properly, that's when one gets jaundice or the bilirubin buildup and all that. So normally newborn baby, because its organs are not totally developed to function well, right? So it gets jaundice, and that's when you put under the sunlight or the blue light and all that for the baby to recover fast and all that. So normally for babies who has got jaundice and all that, we usually will heal the spleen gland, the liver of the baby, and it works very well, right? Because we have mothers who have newly given birth and all that, when they come to us to ask for jaundice, spleen gland and liver, it works well, right, to heal the baby's jaundice. So the spleen gland, it's usually under the left side of the rib cage, right? And it's an organ which is very important because it gives us energy as well. Okay, now the spleen filters blood. So very important function. It filters the blood, throws away whatever that is not needed anymore, and removes old or damaged red blood cells. So it also recycles the iron. It filters out the bacteria from the bloodstream as well. Okay, and it's very important because it does the quality control center for the blood, right? So it's our body filter system. Okay, so main function of the spleen, it filters the blood, as we already know. It also supports the immunity, right? So our immunity is very important. It helps the body to fight any infections that we may have. Okay, and spleen gland comes in. So when a patient is sick in the hospital and all that, we always will heal the spleen gland or the spleen chakra, right? So spleen chakra, it's you can only heal in the morning or until about like early afternoon. Anything later, do not heal the spleen chakra, because that is your energy. It's like a electricity energy booster. So you do not need too much of energy later part of the day, because you may want to sleep and all that. And people who have trouble sleeping, you shouldn't be energizing in the later part of the day or your spleen chakra. Okay, spleen gland you can heal and condition and all that, but spleen chakra can only be healed. It's good to heal in the morning or afternoon. right? And all that. Okay, it also stores blood and platelets, acts like a reserve supply in the case of the whenever the body needs and all. Okay, so energizing the spleen chakra, you know the spleen is on the left hand side. So we being in PVH, because sir always does the spleen arm test. So we all know the spleen is on the left hand side. And when you fold your left arm and put on your shoulder that part, and the elbow will touch where the spleen is supposed to be, right? So the healing wand become as powerful. You can always energize your spleen chakra by saying healing wand become as powerful as required to heal and condition and energize my spleen chakra. Then you go clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then you can do 3 sets of 3. Okay, so others we always heal 3 sets of 3, right? Like, you know, you do 1, 2, 3, stop 1, 2, 3. But for spleen chakra, we will heal 10 times. So we'll go, you rotate the wand, circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you stop and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, please mute yourself because we don't want to hear any echo. All right. Okay. Right. So that's what you do. And spleen chakra, yeah, it can come out in the exams, maybe, you know, it can maybe potential question. I'm not sure. Okay. It can come out in the morning, whether you can heal in the morning or afternoon. And why is it you shouldn't heal in the night? Okay. So remember, it's an energy booster. So you do not want so much excess energy in the night because you want to sleep, not being restless and all that. Unless you're doing night shift, then please go ahead and heal your spleen chakra in the night. But if you're not doing any night shift, should only heal in the morning or early afternoon, that sort of thing. Okay, so spleen chakra again on the left side of the abdomen, right? Entry point of prana, right? It's very important. It is the part where prana goes in. Okay, and of course you also have the part when energy is given to this chakra with the wand, the aura would instantly become big, making the patient much stronger as well. So someone who's weak, and you know, when someone who's in the hospitalized or weak and all that, when you heal the spleen chakra, they feel stronger. Okay, and feel instantly boost the energy level and all that. Okay, so now the question is, what is the main function of the spleen chakra? A, helps with hearing. B, absorbs and distributes life energy, prana, throughout the body. C, pumps the blood around the body. D, helps digest the food. Okay, I see people. Priya said B.
B.
Okay, nobody said B. Good.
B.
Okay,
Both absorbs and life energy.
right?
B.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's B, right? So the answer is B, right? Okay, good. Now, next one. Why is the spleen chakra considered important? Why is it important for the body? Okay, A, it helps to regulate the flow of vital energy and supports the overall vitality. Okay, you see the key words are already there. It talks about energy, and you know spleen chakra will give energy, right? It's a booster. So that's your key word that you can actually look out for, right? It doesn't control the eyesight, nothing to do with eyes, right? Your spleen chakra. It produces hormone, no, it doesn't, nothing to do with the hormones. It controls the bones, also no. So the obvious answer is A. Very good. Okay, all of you got that.
A.
Yes, it's A. Thank you. Okay, you might want to mute yourself, right? Thank you very much because we are recording. Thank you. Okay, now we are looking at the lymphatic system. Okay, our lymphatic system is very important as well because it is a system that actually helps us to also fight bacteria, viruses, and any harmful substances that enter the body, right? Because the lymphatic system detects them. Okay, and the lymph nodes help filter and track them. Okay, and white blood cells attack and destroy them. So this keeps us healthy and prevent infections from spreading. Okay, and these are the very important part of our lymphatic system. See, when even in PVH, right, when we do a thorough body healing, we always heal our tonsils, our adenoids, all these, right? These are all at the neck region and the throat region, which is very important for us, right? Because sometimes these can get infected by germs or viruses and all that, and then causing swelling of the tonsils and all, right? So it's important. These things are always we do heal. Lymph nodes, okay, lymphatic vessels, your appendix, your bone marrow, small intestine, spleen, thymus. You see, the whole entire system is there. It works hand in hand. Okay. Now, so what is this lymphatic system? It's a network of vessels, lymph nodes, and organs that helps protect the body from illnesses and infection. So it's an important part of our body's immune system. All right, because it helps to boost our immune system. Without this, we may be feeling weak and all that. So imagine, right? A lymphatic system is like a body's, let's say, like a cleaning and defense system. It helps to remove waste, maintain fluid balance, and protect us from infections and diseases. Right. So, for an example, like a city cleaning security department, for an example. So, imagine your body is the city. So, the blood vessels are the roads delivering food, oxygen, and supplies. Okay. So, sometimes extra fluid, waste, and unwanted material collect in the neighborhood areas. Like then the neighborhood areas will be like your body tissues, for an example, right? And the lymphatic system is like a city where there's a cleaning department, there's a waste collection service, and a security force. Okay, so it's the same like how the cleaning department will collect all the excess fluid and waste. So lymphatic system does that. All the unwanted waste and excess fluid, it's all collected and removed out of the body. So it filters out germs and harmful substances also. Okay, and also returns back the fluid back to the bloodstream, because our body is 70% of water, right? So we do need the water, but not all fluid is removed. Unwanted fluid only will be removed, the excess fluid and waste and all that. So lymph nodes are like our security checkpoints where any suspicious visitors like your germs are inspected, they are immediately removed. That is only provided that the body is working well, right? So our lymphatic system, our whole body is like a factory working throughout 24 hours a day. Yeah. Okay. It is what stops it or hinders it from functioning is our emotions. Okay. When one has too much of emotions built up, then that affects our body from functioning well. Okay. And then the other one is food. Okay. All the unwanted processed food and all that slows the system down. So these are the things that we need to look out for, right? So if we are eating healthy food and we are maintaining our emotions and all that, right, and burning and blazing away and throwing it out of the system and not keeping it bottled up and all that, our body should be functioning well. We should be helping our body to function well as well. All right. Okay, so why is it important? We already said, right? Why is it important? It fights infection and germs, removes any excess fluid from the body tissues, which it doesn't need. Because if it doesn't remove, that's when the body swells up. You got excess water in it, your face feels swollen, your legs or knees or your ankles feel swollen and all that, because the water is not being removed. It also helps remove waste and toxins and then transport all the white blood cells that protects the body. Okay, so these are all the important functions of the lymphatic system. Okay, so these are the main parts of our lymphatic system: the lymph nodes, the lymph vessels, the lymph nodes, the tonsils, and the spleen. They all work hand in hand together, right? Okay, now the question time. What is the main function of the lymphatic system? Okay, what is the main function of the lymphatic system? A, pump blood around the body. B, help protect the body from infections and remove excess fluid. Digest food and remove excess fluid. Or D, help us hear sounds. Okay,
B,
very
B,
good. Yes,
B, security system.
B. Yeah, helps
B.
protect the body from infections and remove excess fluid. Yeah, B. Okay, very good. Yes, the answer is B. Correct. Okay, and then the next one is, what is the job of the lymph nodes? Okay, is it to produce bile, pump oxygen to the body, filter lymph fluid and trap germs, or produce hormones? Okay, very good. Yeah, many of you answering. Very good. Yeah, it's C, right? Because lymph and limb. So sometimes it's good to associate when you are not sure of the question. Look at the question and make wise choices, right? So bile has nothing to do with here, right? That is another department totally, right? So pump oxygen also not here, right? But if you look at limb and limb, so you can make connections and all that. So can make wise choices in that sense. Yeah. Okay, very good. So the answer is C. Okay, let's see whether this plays. Okay, yeah. I want to show you this particular video. Let's watch.
Imagine that the inner workings of your body are like a bustling city. Your heart is similar to a power plant, supplying you with energy, and your blood vessels are a highway, constantly transporting that energy to your entire body. But inside your body, as in any city, there's a lot of waste to deal with too. And that's where your lymphatic system comes in. You can think of it as your body's sanitation system. Your lymphatic system is made up of a network of tubes called lymph vessels, which carry a clear liquid called lymph fluid throughout your body. These lymph vessels are like streets and alleys where garbage trucks stop to collect waste. Except in this case, the garbage trucks are the lymph fluid itself, which flows from place to place, collecting waste, excess fluid, and any other unwanted substances. But where does it all go? Your lymph fluid makes its way through your lymph vessels and arrives at your lymph nodes. They're like waste treatment centers all over your body. Most cities only have one big waste treatment facility, but your body is really committed to cleanup. You have about 800 lymph nodes, everywhere from your head and neck to your abdomen and knees, all working to filter your lymph fluid from bacteria, viruses, and other harmful substances. Your lymphatic system also includes some of your organs, which are each responsible for specific waste management tasks. Your tonsils, for example, filter out germs you breathe in through your nose or mouth. Your spleen, which is a tiny organ just above your stomach, filters your blood and makes white blood cells that protect you from infection. And then there's your thymus gland, which is located between your lungs. It's responsible for making special white blood cells called T cells that, you guessed it, help your body fight infections and disease. Just like real-life sanitation services are critical to keep our cities functioning well, your lymphatic system is an essential part of your overall health and well-being. It's a cleanup service, a drainage network, and a defense mechanism. And it works hard to keep you healthy.
So you saw, right, what it does. So the lymphatic system is the body's cleaning and drainage security system, right? It cleans all the waste and drains excess fluid and protects us from germs and infection. So it's a very important system that actually helps. And we have a beautiful wand that we can heal our lymphatic system and our drainage system, So use it, right? Okay, now it's our location of our liver. Okay, so now liver is located at the upper right side of the abdomen near your belly. So this portion is your liver. It's a nice shape, huh? Right? It just sits below the diaphragm and above the stomach. So location of the liver. Important to know sometimes, right? So, and in here itself, there are a couple of things that you need to, not every one of it is important, but you need to know your aorta, your gallbladder, these kind of things, right? These two quite important to know. Okay, now why is the liver important? Because the liver is one of the most important organ because it filters toxins from the blood. Because we eat all kind of processed food, all kind of food and all that. We take medication, sometimes we take supplements, sometimes we take herbal stuff and all that. All of them have some level of toxicity, right? So even though they may say herbal, but the toxic level is different from how individual bodies will manage and all that, right? So it's important to know that, and the liver is the one who's doing all this, filtering all the toxins and removing them and all that from the blood and all. It also produces bile. So liver's most important function, it produces bile. And what does bile do? Helps you to digest all the fats, the kind of fatty food we eat, mutton, meats and all that, right? So those are all, you need bile to help you to digest those fats. It also stores energy, your glucose, vitamins, and minerals, and also processes nutrients from the food that we consume. And again, it also helps fight infection and support our overall health. So most important function of liver. So these are the ones that are very important. The most important, I would say, is filtering toxins, producing bile, and storing the energy, because these three are very important job for the liver to do. Okay, and sometimes with our emotions and all that, it can actually hinder its way of functioning and all that. So again, so it's very important how we take charge of our health and put away all the unwanted emotions that is not needed for this body to manage. Now, the liver is the body's natural filter and a chemical factory. It cleans the blood, helps with digestion, stores energy, and keeps the body clean, okay, and healthy. Very important, right? Now, liver produces bile, we all know, and the bile is actually stored in the gallbladder. There's a little ball like that right here, a small organ, right? It's gallbladder. That's where it's all. So liver produces the bile, but you see, not all the bile will be used to, to digest the fats. So the excess bile will be stored in the gallbladder, which is kept for later use and all that. It is released into a small intestines when food, especially fats, enter. So then the biles will help to break down fats into smaller droplets, process called emulsification, right? Helping the enzymes to further digest the fats, which is a very important function. Okay, so there's a lot of, to break down proteins and all that. All these will come into, these are enzymes that will actually help to break down the fats. Okay, and then you produce a bile, which is responsible for the emulsification of the fats. So that it doesn't get. So that's why sometimes when people eat too much of meat, red meat, and too much of fatty food, right? Then the liver suffers with the fatty liver and all that, because it's too much of fats that is actually clogging up the liver, and the bile is not enough to digest the fat and to throw it out and all. So bile produced in the liver is commonly stored in the gallbladder until released. Okay, so that's the function of your gallbladder as well. Okay, now liver also detoxifies harmful substance like your alcohol, drugs as in like medication and all that also, right? Any metabolic waste products. Sometimes we consume a lot of unwanted food stuff as well, and sometimes these food stuff, it's not it doesn't get out of the system easily. So the liver has to manage it as well. So these are broken down and then excreted in bile or through urine and all that. So the liver also stores important vitamins like your vitamin A, vitamin D, E, and K, and B12, and minerals like iron and copper. Okay, so liver processes the nutrients absorbed from the small intestine. So remember, stomach does the first step. No, the first step of digestion is your mouth, right? Your teeth breaks down the food, and with the saliva, it softens the food and passes through the gullet, which is through the esophagus, right? And then lands up in the stomach. And the stomach will actually have the hydrochloric acid and all the other forms of acid, which will actually churn into a chyme, right? Into a thick soup, and then it passes through the small intestines. Then in the small intestines, that's when it will take whatever that is needed for the body, the nutrients, and the rest is all thrown out, okay, to the large intestine as waste and all that. So it's like the whole entire system. Each stop does something. So it's an amazing machine we have in our body. All right. And it's like it does it so beautifully, not even without us being consciously aware what's happening in our stomach. Right? We just put in the food, but we don't know where is it going, what is it doing, but it's happening. Right? Automatic. We're not telling our brain that, hey, please do this, please do that. We are not even consciously telling anything. It happens unconsciously. It also converts the excess glucose into glycogen for storage and can convert glycogen back into glucose when needed and all that. Yeah? Okay, now the question time. Okay, so what is one of the main functions of the liver? Okay, what is the main function of the liver? Okay, A, it pumps blood from the body, around the body. B, filters toxin from the blood. C, helps us hear sounds. And D, produce tears.
B.
Very good, yes. Very good. All of you are ready for the exams. Yeah, very good. Yes, you're right. Okay, it filters the toxin from the blood. Very important function of the liver. Okay, now the next one, which substance is produced by the liver to help digest the fat?
Bile.
C bile.
Yes, bile, right? Very good. C, it's bile. Okay, that's the one that is being produced by the liver. Okay, and where is it stored? Added question. The excess bile, where is it stored?
In
Gallbladder.
gallbladder.
Yes, that's right. It's stored in the gallbladder. Clever. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's look at the location of the gallbladder. You see, this is your liver. This above is your liver, and a little small little bag that is attached to here is the gallbladder. So whatever that is the bile that is not used, it is stored here in this little gallbladder. Imagine such a small thing, but it's doing so much of things. And there are people who have to sometimes remove the gallbladder, right? And when the gallbladder is being removed, they can't eat much fatty food anymore because there's no way that the body will be able to manage, right? So they have to reduce the amount of fatty food and all that, or mutton or red meat and all that kind of things. Yeah. Okay, so location of the gallbladder. It's a little gallbladder, small sac located under the liver on the upper right side of the abdomen. Location. Hmm? Okay, and what is the function of the gallbladder? It stores bile made by the liver. So it's like a storage space. Okay, excess bile is actually stored here. Okay, and then it releases bile into the small intestines when needed. When one day you decided to eat like, wow, so much of meat or so much of fatty food, and then the bile is released and it helps to digest it faster. Okay, it helps to digest the fats in the food. Okay, so gallbladder is a small storage pouch under the liver that stores bile and helps the body digest fats. That's all. Okay. All right. So all of them are all connected together. So you know this is your duodenum, your stomach, and all that, right? And then your liver, your gallbladder. Okay, and all of these are all an organ that all plays a role together. Okay. Now, so how the liver and gallbladder and pancreas work together? Okay, how these three organs, how do they work together? They work as a team to help digest food, especially fats. So when you see liver, gallbladder and all that, right, it's usually related to do with fats. Okay, so when you eat, like the liver makes the bile, the gallbladder stores and releases the bile, and the pancreas will release digestive enzymes to digest these fats. Okay, so together they work together as a team to help us and all. Okay, question time. What is the main function of the gallbladder? Now all of you all will know, right? Okay, is it to produce bile, or is it to store and release bile? Is it to pump blood or filter toxins? Okay,
B.
very good.
B.
Yeah, everybody all said B. Yes.
B.
Yes.
Store and release bile.
Pardon? Yeah, store and release, right? Bile. Yes, very good. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, the gallbladder stores bile made by the liver and releases it into the small intestines when needed and all that. So that's very important. Now, how does the gallbladder help with the digestion? Okay, it breaks down proteins, it produces digestive enzymes, or it releases bile to help digest fats, or it absorbs nutrients. So gallbladder, how does it help with the digestion? Okay, very good. I see most of you saying C. Yes. Why? Because bile helps to break down the fats into smaller droplets, making them easier to digest. Right? So very good. The answer is C. Okay, good job. Okay, now our heart. Okay, our heart is a very important organ. It has been beating from the time we have been formed in our mother's womb. So it's a very important organ that we need it to function well and to serve us well as well. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at the heart. Okay, our heart, the location of our heart. If you look at it, you see our heart is like towards the left, right? It's slightly towards the left and between the lungs. Our heart is located there, and the heart is a muscular pump. So it's a muscle, okay, and it pumps and circulates the blood throughout the body. Okay, it helps to deliver oxygen, nutrients to the body cells, and also removes waste products such as your carbon dioxide, and maintain blood circulation throughout the body, right? So when there's excess carbon dioxide, that's when you keep on yawning. You know, sometimes when you realize that, hey, why am I yawning so much today, right? So it's the excess carbon dioxide is coming out of your body. So you keep yawning and all that. Okay. Now the heart anatomy. Okay, the heart is got a 4 main chambers, and these are very important chambers, which is your right atrium, okay, and your right ventricle, and then your left atrium and your left ventricle, which is what we call sometimes when we heal and condition our heart chakra, then our physical heart, we will say normally pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4, right? When we heal, right? So that we don't have to say right atrium, right ventricle, right left atrium and left ventricle. So we just say pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4 when we heal, right? To make it easier. Now, what is the function of the right atrium? Right, the right atrium, it receives blood from the body, and that's important, right? We need to receive the blood because our cells need blood. Our body needs blood to be moving about and circulating, because that's when it keeps us alive and we have oxygen. Our right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs. So the right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs, and the left atrium, which is the left atrium here, right, it actually receives the oxygen rich blood from the lungs. Okay, and then the left ventricle, a very important one, right, it pumps oxygen rich blood to the rest of the body. So if you look, if they can ask you a question, or even in you should know that which pump or which chambers works the hardest. Is it the right atrium or right ventricle, or left atrium or left ventricle, right? You should know which one works the hardest. And why does it work the hardest, right? So which one? Anyone want to guess? Which works the hardest?
Left ventricle.
Left ventricle.
Hmm.
Okay.
Left ventricle.
Yeah, okay,
Left
very good. Yeah.
ventricle.
Yes, the left ventricle works the hardest. And why? Because it's responsible for pumping oxygen-rich blood throughout the body, right? To the entire body, it's no joke, right? It has to pump, and all the way it has to circulate and come back. So it does the most hardest work. So it's good to heal our heart every time. And so always says, when you're climbing up a mountain, or you're climbing up many stairs, or climbing up a hill, or anything which is a slope, always heal your heart chakra and heal your physical heart. And then you find that you can climb up easily, right? When we go to Borobudur, it looks like, wow, so much to climb. But when you heal your heart chakra and your physical heart, as you are traveling, going up, you don't feel you're panting at all, because it makes it easier and smoother to go up. Right? So the heart has 4 chambers, very important. So these are the 4 chambers. Your right atrium receives blood from the body. Your right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs, and your left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs, and the left ventricle pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. Okay, so these are the 4 chambers of the heart. Now, why heal the heart? Okay, let me see. I think there should be a video here. Okay, why heal the heart? So I've said during the bed yoga, if you have a weak heart, so it's good during your self-healing to heal. Oh, didn't I? I thought there was, or maybe I put the video later. Don't worry, we will see that video shortly. Okay, so physical heart, you can always heal and condition your heart chakra. Every time before healing, always heal the chakra before the physical organ. Okay, it works better. So heal the heart chakra first, heal and condition the heart chakra. Okay, and then healing won't become as powerful as required to heal my physical heart. You can say pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4. Okay, and if you are using triple bond, you can also use, you can also heal your valve 1 and valve 2, and valve 3 and valve 4 accordingly. Okay, if you're using a pearl 1, it's much easier. You can heal the whole entire organ itself already, right? And then the pump 4 works the hardest, because it has to pump the blood throughout the entire body, right? So it works the hardest. So healing blocks in the heart. So sometimes people find that there's a block, like, when they went for checkup, and then the doctor found a block in the heart, or, need to put, do a bypass or something like that and all that. So then you don't panic, but, always do heal and condition heal and blaze away your whatever that is blocking the heart. Right? So healing won't become as powerful like a laser to blaze away and burn away and disintegrate any blocks in my artery or capillaries in my heart. So go small circles. Don't use big circle like a thosai or vade. Okay, but even smaller, because it's like a laser, right? Just small, tiny movement, circle clockwise, and then do that, heal. After a while, then you go back for checkup again. It will become better. Okay, but of course, follow the doctor's advice, right? Healing won't become as powerful as required to blaze away and burn away and disintegrate the blocks in my left and right coronary artery, for an example. Then you heal and condition it. Okay, then you can also you can heal your left hand and right hand palm chakra as well, because your left hand is more connected to the heart. So sometimes when the left palm chakra is blocked, that also can cause a block in the heart as well. So it's good to heal your left hand palm chakra. Okay, so yeah, if you have your triple one, it's much easier to heal all of them at one go. Now, so healing leaking heart valve, for an example, when sometimes people do have a leaking heart valve, and then they got this diagnosis from the doctor, and then you can use this to heal, right? So healing one become as powerful as required to heal the heart valve. Say which valve, is it valve 1, valve 2, or valve 3, or valve 4? Be specific, okay, and then heal the particular valve that is leaking, right? Your heart chakra holds a lot of emotions. So again, you see, the heart is an organ, it's a muscle. It's been working since the time we have been formed as a fetus in our mother's womb. So it has been there and working day and night without fail, right? If it stops, we are dead. So we also have to be compassionate to our organs and show gratitude to our organs as well. Because sometimes we take a lot of things for granted, right? And and you keep worrying over things for no reason, or unnecessary worries and emotions that actually affect all this. Because we also have our heart chakra also holds all your emotions. So it's good to throw away all these unwanted emotions daily, if one is highly emotional, or if not, read the ladies affirmation and all that. Okay, so the heart chakra governs the emotional balance, and when emotional issues are unresolved, they may affect the blood and the overall circulation. Because the body is trying to work for us, we also have to help the body to work along for us. Okay, so that's why it's important. Now, so our heart is a powerful machine that has been working non-stop. It's what we said. Since we were formed as a fetus in our mother's womb, it never truly rests. Only time when we are sleeping, it's pumping slowly, but again, it's doing its necessary work for the next day, right? It's working continuous. Our whole entire body is working continuously. As we sleep, it slows down. So it's important that we have good sleep and rest, because the body has to throw out all these unwanted toxin and all that. So even when we are sleeping, the heart continues to pump blood, cleans the body, and keeps us safe as well. Okay. So gratitude to our heart, very important. You can take both your hands and touch your heart together. Let's do this together. Okay, let's put our hands together here, touching our heart. My heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been working with me from the day I was in my mother's womb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been working without stopping, every minute, every second, from the day I was born and before I was born. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please forgive me if I've knowingly or unknowingly hurt you in any way by doing these foolish things or any foolish things. Please forgive me if I've knowingly or unknowingly done. But today, I understand how much of work you have been doing for me, and you cannot take a rest even for 1 minute. Please forgive me. Please forgive me if I've hurt you in any way, emotionally, mentally, or physically, with all the food that I put into you, or all the exercise that are strenuous, that exerted you, and unwanted emotions and unnecessary emotions that are put into you. Please forgive me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need you for the rest of my life. Thank you, my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so showing our gratitude to our organs helps our organs function even better. Okay, why heal the heart? Now, my video is here then. Okay.
Now, remember I was talking about people who got lots of issues. Now, when you do a complete bed yoga with self-healing, now let's say, for example, you've got a weak heart, okay? So you can just go straight to the heart. Straight to the heart. You can say, heal my heart chakra, or just go straight to the heart. I tell people, heal the heart every 2 hours, or every 1 hour. Sometimes I tell you every half an hour, because the heart is working. Like that. You can try this, my friend. You can walk up a very big building and feel tired and take the wand and start healing the heart, and the whole energy will come down. And I tell people, when you're walking up the mountain, take the wand and heal the heart while you're walking up a mountain or up a staircase. You'll find total relief when you come up, because this one removes whatever energy that is not being able to throw away by the heart chakra, and also heart, the chakras of the physical part of the heart. You're not able to throw away. This wand helps you and you feel much relaxed. You do that, my friend.
Okay, so just now when we saw, right, and the thing is to sum it up, summary for our heart will be, so remember, right side of the heart, right, sends blood to the lungs, and left side of the heart sends blood to the body. So right side to the lungs and left side to the body. So that is all. Right, now guess the organ time. Okay, now what organ is this? This particular organ here that my arrow is pointing, the green, you can see this one here on the left hand side. Can you see?
We can't see the arrow, Chitra.
Oh, okay. The one near the pro, right? So what organ is this? That is called
Lungs.
This is lung.
Lungs.
Yes, that's right. Okay, this is the lungs. Very good. Okay. Now, what organ is this?
Second is liver.
Second one, it is
Second one is liver.
Liver.
liver. Yes, very good. Liver. Yes. The third one here,
Gallbladder.
Stomach.
gallbladder. No, gallbladder.
Stomach.
Yes, it's stomach, right? Okay, good. What is this one here?
Small intestine and large intestine.
And
Yes.
large intestine.
Small and large intestines.
Correct. Yes, it's a small and the large intestine. And what about this?
Heart.
Heart.
Our heart.
Correct. And you can see the 4 chambers there already. And then what is this one?
Right and left kidney.
Kidneys. Our kidneys.
Yes. Okay, very good. So must name the organs, okay? Then you know. So very good. Good job. Well done. Okay, so these are our organs. Yeah. Okay. Now our body also have many systems, right? And we have these systems. You know, when we do system healing, like, you know, from the crown chakra to the right hand, crown chakra to the left hand, crown chakra to the right leg, crown chakra to the left leg, and crown chakra to the root chakra, right? We do the system healing, right? So now you have the circulatory system, you have your lymphatic system, you have respiratory system. Okay, this system is not important, right? Endocrine system, you have your digestive system, you have the urinary system, which is your excretory system, which removes all the waste. You got your muscular system and your skeletal system. You have your nervous system and your immune system and all that, and your reproductive system. So you have many systems, and these are some of the important systems that you need to know, or you should know, because it also helps with our healing, right? Okay, now we're going to look at the small intestines and the large intestines. Okay, our intestines. Oops, sorry. Okay, small intestines and large intestines. Very important, small intestines. What is the function of the small intestines? It helps to, so small intestines are here. Okay, this one here. And it's a very long intestine. Okay, I think it's about like 2-story high. Okay, and it's all nicely squeezed into this portion here. Okay, and its function is to digest food after it leaves the stomach. So from the stomach, whatever food it's churned into the chyme, which is a thick soup, it comes into this bladder, and then it flows through here into the small intestines here. Okay, it comes through there. And with that, after that, it absorbs all the nutrients from the small intestines, and then it goes into the bloodstream. Okay, it absorbs all the nutrients and then the food into the bloodstream, sends it to the bloodstream, which helps it to absorb all the vitamins, the minerals, and all that. Okay, now the large intestines is this one here, which is the outer side of it. Okay, and we will be looking at it in another slide. Okay, the large intestine. So, which helps to absorb the water, the mineral from all the undigested food. We can eat so much, but the body doesn't digest everything. Okay, so only takes what is needed by the body and then absorbs the nutrients, and then it moves on into the bloodstream. The rest of whatever that is eaten is thrown out as waste. Okay, and yeah, so it will remove as waste or stools or feces, you may call, whatever that you call in whatever words you want to call. So small intestine digests food, absorb nutrients. Large intestines absorb excess water that is not needed and removes waste. Okay, so remember small intestine, nutrition, large intestine, eliminating of waste materials from the body. Okay, appendix is this small little thingy that is sticking out of the large intestine there. Okay, if you look at it carefully, from the large intestine, there's a little small thing which is called the appendix. Okay, now I think we'll be looking at the colon in a short while. Okay, so that one we'll be looking there. Okay, so the appendix is actually believed, it's a small finger-like shape. So if you look at this little thing here, the appendix, it's called appendicitis. Okay, and it's there. It isn't known as a very important organ, but when a child is developing, when a child is growing, it's kind of important for the child because it helps to support the immune system during childhood. Then later part, if we have to remove it or so, it doesn't matter. We can live without an appendix, right? So it doesn't matter, an appendix and all that. Okay, so appendix is small and it's there. Okay. Now, if you look at the colon itself, the large intestine, right? So you know this whole entire thing is your large intestine and it absorbs water and minerals from all the unwanted, undigested food. Okay, not all the food is digested. So the undigested food, whatever that is not needed by the body, the colon takes over from there. Okay, so you have something called the ascending colon, which is on the right side of the abdomen. Okay, so ascending colon. So those people who have constipation problem, you would have heard the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon, and the segment colon, because these colon play an important role. Because this ascending colon is when the food is moving up. All right, so the food is moving upwards. Hang on. Okay, the food is moving upwards. And then absorbs all the water and the nutrients, whatever, right? And then it goes to the transverse colon across this portion here, the transverse colon from the right to the left, and then continues absorbing all the water which is not needed for the body, and then the moves waste from the body and all that. So it's supposed to, say for example, you've eaten your breakfast, so it goes here, right? Then after that, soon after, it's slowly moving. Before you know it, lunch comes in. Okay, so now the breakfast is only halfway here, then the lunch comes in, the lunch is also moving later, then after that, dinner comes in. So the breakfast sometimes may not even have reached to the bottom, right? But then you have the 3 meals already in there. Plus next day, if you haven't, those people who haven't gone toilet properly, then the next day food comes in. So you see, and then the unwanted food waste is stored there. So imagine like, you cook something and you left it out there and for a day, and you did not put in the fridge, or you did not heat it up or anything, so it will be rotten. So the same thing, when the food doesn't get out of the system properly, it starts having stored in there. So imagine 1 day food, 2 days food, how smelly it is. So that's when people, when they go to the toilet, how bad smell it could be, or even letting out the fart, like a sewage system like that, right? The smell can be quite bad because the waste product or the waste food has not left the body and all that. So the descending colon is located here on the left side of the abdomen. So it stores waste before it moves to the segment colon. So the segment colon is like the shape of an S, like that, like an S. Okay, and then it stores stools until it's ready to leave the body. So it stores here, the final storage is at the rectum, and then once it's ready to get it out of the system, will be through the anus, right? Opening at the end of the digestive tract and controls and releases stools from the body. Okay, so it's an important part that the small intestines, whatever digested food, it goes into the bloodstream. Undigested food will go into the large intestine, which is the ascending colon, then moves on to transverse colon. After that, goes down to the descending colon, and then to the segment colon, and then comes to the rectum, stores there for a while, and then bye-bye through the anus, right? So that's the main job of the colon. Okay, so that's the main job of the colon. So that's what I've summarized just now for you in this slide here. Okay.
Right away.
Okay.
But when you
Video.
eat too much salt, your body starts reacting. That salty food enters your mouth, goes down your esophagus, and heads toward your stomach. Inside the stomach, digestion begins. The food mixes with digestive juices, and salt breaks apart into sodium and chloride. Now, the sodium is ready to move deeper into your body. In the small intestine, sodium begins entering the bloodstream. Tiny villi help absorb it through the intestinal wall and into nearby blood vessels. Now, sodium is moving through your blood. Your body needs sodium for nerves, muscles, and fluid balance. But too much at once can shift that balance. To balance the extra sodium, your body starts holding on to more water. This can increase fluid inside the blood vessels and tissues. That is why too much salt can sometimes make the body feel puffy or heavy. Your brain senses the higher sodium level and sends a thirst signal. That is why salty food can make you want to drink more water. Your body is trying to restore balance. As the body holds more water, blood volume can increase. More fluid inside the blood vessels can make the heart pump against more pressure. For some people, this can contribute to higher blood pressure. Now the kidneys step in. They filter the blood and help remove extra sodium through urine. But when salt intake is high, the kidneys have to work harder. One salty meal does not harm everyone, but too much salt too often can place extra stress on the heart, blood vessels, and kidneys over time. Water can help the body manage fluid balance, but the real key is reducing too much salt overall. Choosing less processed food and more balanced meals can help. Salt is not bad by itself. Your body needs sodium to function, but too much salt, too often, can affect fluid balance, blood pressure, the heart, and the kidneys. The goal is not fear. The goal is moderation. You may not feel.
All right, so moderation. Yeah, the body does need sodium, but it doesn't need excess sodium. And that excess sodium shouldn't come from your potato chips or those processed food. It should just come from normal food. It's okay, because the body do need sodium, but not overly too much, right? So after a while, when you reduce the amount of salt, the body doesn't need that much. You know, when babies, only adults, when they cook for babies, right, they think, oh, baby needs salt. I don't know, when I was when my children were born, we literally use very little sodium. But then the people around us who lives with us will say that, hey, there's no salt. But I was thinking, adult, now the taste buds are already accustomed to that kind of salt level, but babies haven't been accustomed to any of those. So you can reduce it literally nil salt to very little salt. It's good enough for them. Yeah. Okay, comes to our kidneys, very important organ that we need, right? Because it does a lot of filter remove all the waste and the toxins from the blood. Okay, the location of kidneys are right at the back. Very important. When you have your practical exam, it may come also, right? You never know. You must be able to name your organs, where it is and all that, right? So location of the kidneys is at the back, not anywhere in the front, okay? Those people in PVH, you should know by this by now, because sir always will ask in any of the workshop, where are your the kidneys located, right? Okay, the urinary system. So these are the ones that are important part of the organs, right? You have your kidneys, your bladder, your urethra, and then your ureter and the urethra. Okay, so important part of them. Now, what does the kidney do? So it's actually a body's natural filters. And what do? They actually remove all the waste and toxins from the blood, right? And also they also make urine, because they have to create urine to throw them out of the system, right? So some send waste and extra water out of the body as urine. Then they balance the water levels, keep the right amount of water in the body. And then after that, they balance all the minerals and the salts. Keeping the right amount of water in the body helps to maintain these minerals as well. Okay, and then it also helps to control minerals such as your sodium, your potassium, and your calcium. And then, of course, it helps to control your blood pressure, supporting healthy blood pressure levels. Very important. So our kidney does a lot and all. Because the thing is, when your blood pressure is not at the right level, it can actually affect your kidneys as well. Okay, so basically it keeps the blood clean. Why are they important? Because it keeps the blood clean, removes harmful waste, maintains fluid balance, and support healthy organs and body functions, right? And keeps the body healthy. So your kidneys are like the body's water filters. Just as a water filter removes all the dirt from the water, the kidney also removes all the waste from the blood and keeps the body clean and balanced, right? So healthy kidneys equals to your clean blood, balanced body, and better health. Okay, your excretory system. So this is how it is, right? And the thing that your kidneys are here, your adrenal glands are above this, above the kidneys, right? And then you got your urethra and the bladder and all that. So the bladder holds on to the urine. Sometimes you can't find the toilet on time. So in the beginning, the bladder is working very well. When you're younger, the bladder is super well, right? So over the long run, people keep on controlling the urine and not going toilet often and all that, and then it weakens the bladder when it comes to later part of the age and all that. So it's important that don't control the urine and go to the toilet ASAP when you can find a toilet and all that, because over the long run the bladder can become weaker, and when you sneeze and all that, then the urine can also come out, right? Because of the bladder cannot hold anymore. Okay, now question time. What are the glands located on top of the kidneys called? A. Adrenal glands. B. Endocrine glands. C.
Adrenal gland.
Adrenal A.
Adrenal gland.
A.
Adrenal gland.
Yes, very good. It's adrenal glands. Okay, adrenal glands very important. Yeah. Okay, so adrenal glands are really small, like a triangular shape. If you look at it, it's just above the kidney, a little two triangular shape there. It sits on there, and these essential hormones are actually, they help to produce the adrenaline, cortisol, and all that. It helps to regulate your metabolism, your immune response, and the blood pressure and stress. It's your flight and fight hormone. Endocrine glands is also the term that also many times when we use for the adrenal and for the thyroid and pituitary gland. So we know just now, we already asked, this is just a different form of repeated question. Okay, so name the gland located on top of the kidney. So A, thymus gland, B, pituitary gland, and C, adrenal glands. Okay, so remember, it's adrenal glands, right? And it's on top of the kidneys, both kidneys. Thymus gland is located in the middle of the chest there. Okay, and thymus gland is important for our immune system. So it's important to heal our immune system, right? So when you want your immune system to be working at the peak, so please heal your thymus gland. Pituitary gland is at the base of the brain and controls several other glands, and is very important for, it's a master gland. So especially for ladies, it's very important, pituitary gland. Okay, so these are our glands. We're going to look at our glands now. So major glands we're going to look are pituitary gland, our pineal gland, thyroid glands, thymus gland, which is in the middle of the chest. Here, thyroid glands is where the throat area. So whenever you want to heal the glands, it's always good to heal the chakra, throat chakra, then thyroid gland, for an example like that. Yeah. Pineal gland, Ajna chakra, front and back, and then after the pineal gland like that, or pituitary gland. Okay, so kidneys, and then you got your adrenal gland here. Then your pancreas is also down here at the part where the kidneys are. So they're all around the same region. Okay, and then of course you have the glands, which is also the ovaries and the testes for the men, ovaries for the ladies. So these are important glands that are, important for the women and men. Okay, so pineal gland. What is a pineal gland? It's like a switch. It's a sleep switch. Basically, it's important for us to fall asleep, right, easily. So pineal gland is important, and it makes melatonin. Okay, melatonin is the one that actually pineal gland produces melatonin, which is a hormone that tells the body to time to sleep, kind of thing. So, and it controls the sleep-wake cycle, right? So melatonin controls the sleep-wake cycle. So, and also it helps the body to, to sleep better and have a restful sleep. And it also responds to light. So that's why it's important that the room is when you're falling asleep, don't go and look at the handphone and those unwanted lights, because it will weaken your pineal gland, confuse your pineal gland, thinking that it is daytime, right? So and then you fall, it takes a bit of a toll for people to fall asleep. So it's good to switch off the lights and prepare the body for restful sleep. Okay, in short, the pineal gland helps the body to know when to sleep and when to wake up and all that. Okay, so melatonin, it's a kind of a hormone which is very important. It's produced by the brain. Okay, the melatonin tells the body the time to sleep and all that. Okay, and how it works, the brain releases the melatonin when it gets dark, right? So then it helps the body to feel calm, relaxed, and sleepy. So when there's light, then the melatonin levels drops, because then it keeps you alert and all that. Then some people complain that they can't fall asleep and all that, because too much of light, too much of looking at the digital gadgets and all that. So it makes it difficult for people to fall asleep. There are people who are very blessed, right? They put their head on the pillow and they're gone. They're gone to sleep, right? That's good, right? So yeah, so I'm sure every one of us can be like that, right? So it's a matter of getting the body into the correct system again. Okay, so why melatonin is important? Again, it's repetition now. You know already why. Okay, now, which of the following is considered the smallest organ in the body, in the human body? Okay, A, pineal gland, B, eyes, and C, tongue.
Pineal gland.
Pineal gland.
Okay, so pineal gland, this small little pea-like shape, right? Like a little green pea, right? That's a pineal gland there. Okay, it's a small one, but it's very important for us. It helps us to fall asleep. So when someone cannot fall asleep, you can take the wand and heal your pineal gland, and then the sleep will come. Okay, and yeah, well, of course, do the necessary thing and then find out the root cause of why you cannot fall asleep. Some people, they think too much, right? The brain is activated, like, so it's the brain is not resting. The body wants the rest, but the brain is still alert. So yeah, so you need to find the root cause of it as well. Okay, which gland produces sleep hormones? A, thyroid, B, thymus, C, pineal.
Question, please.
Pineal gland.
Yes, correct. Very good. Yes, it's pineal gland.
Pineal gland.
Yes, thank you. It's pineal gland. C, yeah, correct. Okay, now, so the pineal gland is a tiny piece-sized structure located deep in the center of the brain, and it produces your melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep. Right? The eyes and tongues are much larger and more complex in structure and function. So it doesn't fall under the multiple choice there. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the one that actually the sleep-wake cycle. Okay. Now, which is the master of all glands? Okay. Which is the master of all glands? Your A, your hypothalamus, B, your pituitary gland, and C, your pineal gland.
Pituitary.
Pituitary gland.
Yes, master gland is pituitary gland. Okay, very important. Master gland is pituitary gland, right? Because pituitary gland is the one that is actually controlling the whole entire system first. So it's pituitary gland. Okay, so pituitary gland is often called the master gland because it controls all the activities of many other endocrine glands, including your thyroid glands, your adrenal glands, your reproductive glands. It releases the hormones like your growth hormone, the ACTH and TSH. No need to worry about all these hormone names, but growth hormone, it falls under there. Hypothalamus regulates the pituitary gland, but it's not considered a master. So hypothalamus is like a center, a control center, but pituitary gland is the master of it all, right? Pineal gland produces melatonin and is not involved in regulating other glands. So for an example, we can always ask, in the endocrine glands, right? For an example, like why is endocrine system important? So hormones, what kind of hormones help control? So if they ask you growth and development hormone, so usually your growth hormone, right? Growth hormone is where it helps you to grow taller, especially when a child is growing, right? The growth hormone plays a very important part and all that. So it helps the child to increase in height and all that. There are children who take who have got ADHD, for an example, and they take medication for ADHD. And those kind of medication actually hinders the growth. Okay, so sometimes if you look at children who are under this kind of medication for ADHD, right? You can look their growth is stunted. Like they cannot grow tall, or they grow they're very small sized, and all that. Okay, so it hinders the growth and all that. Then your energy levels and metabolism. So which one increases your metabolism? Which is your thyroid gland, right? So thyroid gland helps in the energy level and metabolism. So the blood sugar level will be your pancreas, right? Then the sleep and wake cycles will be your melatonin. And then your mood and your emotions and all that, the hormones that will be produced is by the brain, right? Like your serotonin, your dopamine, your oxytocin, and even cortisol. When you're highly stressed, or you are in a job that is highly stressed, cortisol. Okay, cortisol to a certain level is good. Too much is bad, right? Too much of anything is bad, right? So cortisol is needed when it helps you to work faster and harder and all that to make you efficient. But too much of it can actually also be bad for the health. Then your reproductive and your body functions and all that, right? So like your ovaries and testes, all these will produce its necessary organs for your in your endocrine system and all that. Okay, so now where is the pituitary gland located? Okay, is it on top of the kidneys, at the base of the brain, or inside the heart?
The base
B.
of the brain.
B.
Base of the brain.
Base of the brain.
B.
Yes, very good. Yeah, it is here, right? The pituitary gland is here. It's very small, a tiny gland, but it does a big job. There are people who has got pituitary dysfunction, and a lot of the whole entire area of the brain region sometimes it doesn't function well, because pituitary gland is the master gland, which gives it's like a control center, like that. It gives a lot of instructions to the hypothalamus and your thalamus and all that. So when this doesn't function well, then it deters the body from functioning its necessary job and all that. Okay, so very important. Pituitary gland, master gland, it's at the base of this brain. Okay, good. Now, so the primary function of the pituitary gland, A, digestion of food, filtering blood, or regulating other endocrine glands.
Filtering.
C.
Regulating
other endocrine gland.
Correct.
endocrine.
Yes, see, yeah. So they're very important. So when you see pituitary gland, it's always connected to your endocrine glands, right? So you can make connections like this. Digestive and filtering blood has got nothing to do with the pituitary glands, right? But pituitary gland is connected to your endocrine glands. And endocrine glands has got many other functions that is needed here, okay, and all. So pituitary gland is always called a master gland, right? Because it produces hormones that controls many other glands in the endocrine system, such as your thyroid glands, your adrenal glands, your reproductive glands, your certain functions of the brain to produce happy hormones and all that. It's all by the master gland here. Okay. Which of the following hormones is secreted by the pituitary gland? A, insulin, B, growth hormone, and C, melatonin.
A.
Melatonin. Option C.
Pituitary gland.
Which of the following hormones is secreted by the pituitary gland?
Growth hormone.
That's right. Yeah, it's growth hormone. Okay, melatonin is by the pineal gland, right? Pineal gland is in charge of the melatonin, right? That is the one that is the sleep-wake cycle. Insulin is by the pancreas. Growth hormone is by the pituitary gland. It tells how much to grow. So if someone wants to grow taller, like there's one girl in India, right? The small-sized girl, she wanted to grow taller. She was healing her pituitary gland, adrenal glands and all that, right? And then the hypothalamus, thalamus, and then the growth hormone. And all these will help to increase in height. Okay, so pituitary gland produces growth hormone, which stimulates growth, cell reproduction, and regeneration. Insulin is secreted by the pancreas and melatonin secreted by the pineal gland. Okay. Now, which part of the brain controls the pituitary gland? Okay, A, cerebellum, B, hypothalamus, and C, medulla oblongata. B, right? Very good. Yes, hypothalamus is very important, right? Because hypothalamus and pituitary gland work hand in hand together. Why? Because the pituitary gland is the key component of the endocrine system, which is responsible for producing and regulating the hormones throughout the body. Okay, but it gets instructions from the hypothalamus, which is the control center. So the hypothalamus is like the body's control center. It connects the brain to the hormone system. It tells the pituitary gland when to release the hormones, right? Not anytime. Oh, today now I want to release. It doesn't. It knows exactly when it is needed to release the hormone that is needed and all that. So it helps in the growth, water balance, body temperature. When you're feeling too cold, it knows, okay, the body is feeling cold. Let's give some heat and all that. Then the sleep and emotions and all that. So it knows exactly. So hypothalamus is the body's control center. So why hypothalamus? Because it communicates. Your hypothalamus is here, your pituitary gland is here. Okay, so it's connecting to each. It's a connecting system. It's like a it's like a center where it gives instructions, right? So connecting the brain signals to the hormone center or the system, acting as the body's manager for crucial processes like those that I've explained earlier: growth, water balance, body temperature, sleep, and emotions. Right? So those are the things. Okay. So hypothalamus is the boss of the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is the master gland, but master gland must also report to the boss. Right? So hypothalamus is the boss. Okay. So other brain parts like your cerebellum, it helps you to have the balance and coordination. Right? Your medulla oblongata is breathing and your heartbeat. Okay. So it helps you with the breathing control and all that. Hypothalamus controls the hormones and body functions. So, which is the body's manager that keeps communicating with the brain, with the hormone system, and keeps the body in balance. So, our endocrine system. So, these are the ones that play a major part. So, endocrine system, remember, pituitary gland, then your hypothalamus. So, they work together hand in hand. Master gland, but control center. So, they report to each other. So, this is the boss of the pituitary gland. Okay, and then it goes to your thyroid gland. So it helps with the metabolism, whether the body is producing enough to digest the food. Should it increase the metabolism and all that? It's having all the signals. Parathyroid, it's regulating the level of the blood and the calcium in the blood and all that. Then of course your testes, the sex hormones, whatever that is being produced by the male. And then you also have the adrenal glands, which is above the kidneys, which shows the fight or the flight response, right? When you want to fight, when you see a snake in front of you, are you going to fight it or are you going to run away? Flight it, right? So that's what it means. So sometimes the fight or the flight, the adrenal glands, it's important because sometimes when it's overstimulated, it can also, can cause, too much of hormones being released and all that. So it's important. Pancreas, of course, it regulates the level of sugar in the blood. So it produces insulin and regulates it. Your thyroid glands, again here, whatever the man has, the woman has, and all that, except for the reproductive system. Okay, which is the ovaries where they, the secretes the female hormones, and the male hormones, the testes. That's all. That's the only difference in the endocrine system for the female and the male. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Okay. So, a summary of all of it, which is this. Right, so you can when you're going to heal, you can always heal your endocrine system, heal and condition your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your hypothalamus gland, your thyroid gland, your thymus gland, pancreas, adrenal glands, ovaries, testes. They all work as a whole entire brain works. The endocrine system in the brain works as a team. Okay, giving signals to each other and all that. Okay, so we know what is the endocrine system already, right? So it's the body's hormone messaging system. Without this, the hormones are not secreted properly for the body to function. So it's made up of glands that produce hormones and releases these into the bloodstream. Very important, it has to release into the bloodstream because these hormones travel throughout the body and tell the other organs what to do. If they don't get secreted correctly or properly, then the body will not be able to do the necessary thing, the organs and all that. Yeah, so it's important. Now, what is the this one? Okay, we did already, so it's fine. Right now, the major ones, these are the ones we saw, right? So major endocrine glands, which is your master gland, pituitary gland is the master gland. Hypothalamus is the control, so it's the boss of the pituitary gland, which controls the pituitary gland itself. Thyroid gland controls the metabolism. So you want to lose weight, you heal your thyroid glands, right? You can also heal your metabolism, okay, and burn and blaze away all the food entities and all that as well, right? Adrenal glands produces stress hormones. Pancreas produces insulin and glucagon. So remember insulin and glucagon. Last week we did that. Ovaries and testes, reproductive organs, hormones for the reproductive system and all that. So that's your endocrine glands. Now comes your exocrine glands. So exocrine glands, the difference is these are called ducts. Okay, endocrine glands was the ones that were actually producing the hormones, right? So they are like the sending signals to through the bloodstream and telling the organs what to secrete and all that. But exocrine glands are different. They are actually travel through ducts to a specific location in the body. For an example, our salivary gland, right in our mouth, the salivary gland produces saliva. Okay, and then our sweat glands, when you are sweating, like these days it's getting so humid, when you sweat and all that, your sweat glands are being stimulated there, right? So it produces sweat. Then your mammary glands, your breast and all that, the mammary glands will produce milk, especially when a mother is conceiving a baby or going to give birth and all that, the milk gets produced and all that. Yeah, the pancreas will have the digestive enzymes, which is also the part of the exocrine system, which helps the digestive part, right? Then the intestines have a little mucus that is actually surrounded there, which helps the digestion as well. Okay, and then of course your eyes will secrete tears, which also cleans your eyes and all that. Okay, the stomach has different enzymes to break down the fats and digest the food and all that. So these are needed by the body and all. Okay, so that's what we did just now, and this is the summary of those. What are the function of the salivary glands, the sweat glands, your mammary glands, and your pancreas? So this memory is not the memory of the brain, but this is the memory of the glands, okay, which is where the women produce milk for the babies and all that. Okay, so the difference between them, endocrine system, the hormones goes directly into the bloodstream. Exocrine system, it releases through the ducts, which is like a tube. Like you are sweating, your skin, the sweat comes out through the skin. So you're excreting that out. Hormones travel throughout the body. Secretion only go to specific location. Your saliva is produced in the salivary gland there only. It doesn't get produced anywhere else in the body, right? So it goes to specific location. Whereas the hormone is traveling throughout the body to reach the organs. Control growth, metabolism, and reproduction and mood. This is the endocrine system. Here, it helps with digestion, sweating, and lubrication, where the stomach lining is lubricated and all that, so that, the food flows and goes out. So, but the lubrication can get weakened or throughout when it's too much of acidic food is consumed and all that. Ductless glands, right? So, endocrine system have no ducts. Exocrine system have ducts because they go through the glands, right? So, that's the difference between the two. All right. Okay, and that's your just a overall summary again. Okay, now the women and the period cycle. Okay, which glands are responsible for regulating the menstruational cycle in women? Okay, A, hypothalamus, B, pituitary gland, okay, C, ovaries, and D, all of the above.
C.
Okay,
D.
very good. Yes.
All of the above. D.
Pituitary glands.
D.
Yes.
Hypothalamus.
D. All of the above.
It's D.
With the menstruation,
It's
when
a D.
when a woman is menstruating, right? The pituitary gland, so always will say, right, heal your pituitary gland. And some people, when after healing the pituitary gland, next day get their period. So pituitary gland is very important for the regulating the menstruation cycle. But remember, the hypothalamus is connected to the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland has to take the signal from the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is the boss of the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is a master gland, but it has to report to the boss. So they are connected. Ovaries, of course, that's the one that releases the egg. So in order for you to get your period, correct? So all of the above. So D is the correct, not just hypothalamus. Yeah, all of the above. So it's D. Okay, which gland is responsible for the monthly menstruation cycle? Okay, so this one is easy, right? Pancreas, thymus glands, gland, pituitary gland. Okay, so this one, I think all of you will be good. All of you will know, right? Yes, that's right. Pituitary gland. Very good. Thank you. Okay, next one, right? So I'm just explaining the whole thing, but I think I said so much of this. I think by now you all should know already, right? All right. The menstrual cycle is controlled by a group of glands and organs working together in your endocrine system and your reproductive system. They work hand in hand. So hypothalamus located in the brain, it starts the cycle, which is your releasing the hormones that is preparing it for the period to start and all that. Okay. Summary. So the three work together, right? The hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and ovaries play a major role in regulating your menstruation cycle. Okay. So when you heal all these three, you got your period and all that. Menstruational cycle gets balanced. The uterus responds to these hormonal changes, but it's not a gland. Uterus is an organ, not a gland, right? These are all the glands that are actually doing their needful job to secrete so that the uterus is responding to those. All right. Okay, now we come to the respiratory system. Hey, not bad, huh? We are 177. I don't know, but there's still 200 slides. Don't worry. Okay, now respiratory system, right? So respiratory system, very important because it's like, imagine your body is a house. Okay, so imagine your body is a house and your house has got ventilation system, right? Like, you open the windows, fresh air comes in. All right, and then you also open the window so that it removes the stale air as well, which is your carbon dioxide. So oxygen comes in and also removes all the unwanted carbon dioxide as well from the room and from the house and all that, right? So this keeps the house fresh and functioning properly. So it's good to open the windows and all that to air out the room or house. Okay. At the same time, some people put plants in the room. So you see, at night, the plants respire, right? So when the plant respires at night, they give out carbon dioxide. So, and if they do give out carbon dioxide and you close all the windows, and then next morning when you wake up, you're going to feel tired because you have overdose of carbon dioxide instead of oxygen, right? Daytime, you get oxygen from the plants, but nighttime, the plant is also respiring. So it's giving out carbon dioxide. So it's good not to put plants in your bedroom when you're sleeping and all that. Extra science question, so science logic answer. Yeah. Okay, so location of the lungs, right? So the respiratory system helps us to breathe by bringing the oxygen into the body and removing carbon dioxide. So very important. So it keeps our cells alive because our cells need oxygen to work and to stay healthy, right? So besides breathing, right, the lungs and respiratory system have several natural defenses that helps prevent germs from entering the body. Okay, and how do they do that, right? So this one, your function of the respiratory system, it helps to breathe and provide the body with oxygen. Okay, and the nose and the mouth, so your major part, the main parts of the respiratory system also consist of the nose and the mouth because air also enters through the nose, right? And then it acts like a filter. So the nose sometimes has little tiny hair that traps all the dust and dirt and germs before they can enter the lungs. So you see, our human body is so well protected, right? So the nose, that's why you sneeze out suddenly. Sometimes you go to a certain place and you're sneezing and you're wondering why suddenly I'm sneezing, because some germs is trying to enter and you're sneezing it. So it's not letting it go into your lungs and all that. And mouth, right? Sometimes we open our mouth too much, right? And then air also goes into our mouth and all that. So all right, or even when you yawn, right? So air also goes in as well. Okay, then you have your lungs, right? Which is also important. The lungs exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. You got your bronchi and your airways. Sometimes these get affected when you catch a cold, flu, right? So the doctor have to give you airway medicine to open up the airways because the airways are, need to open up so that the more air can come in and all that, and your nose doesn't get blocked and all. So bronchi and airways are important. It carries air to and fro from the lungs. Diaphragm, the main muscle that helps us breathe. Okay. So besides breathing, the lungs and respiratory system have several natural defense that helps body from preventing germs from entering the body. All right. So they help us to filter, trapping, removing, and fighting germs before they can even cause infection. Right. So our body is totally well, protected. But of course, the sometimes the kind of food we eat, so we have to boost our immunity so that it works hand in hand together. Sometimes I don't know, but for us, like in the staff room, we see that most of the time teachers are all coughing. Sometimes I also get scared because it's like they, most of them are not wearing masks, and then when they don't, and they don't cover and all that, sometimes the germs are getting around, and you find that after one teacher gets sick, and another one follows on and all that. So yeah, so it's good to sometimes protect yourself too, and boost your immunity as well. And also read page 9 for the bacteria and the virus and all that as well. Okay, so all in PVH, we are well protected. Good to use them, yeah? Okay, now before we also go to the other part, let's see. What? Okay, I think that's about it for the lungs. Yes. Okay, because not much will come out, not that, but those are the key things that you need to know, because the nose hair will actually are the ones that filters out all the germs and all that. So it traps all the dust, and the mucus lines the airways, so it traps the bacteria and virus and dust and other particles in your airways. It traps it. Then cilia are the tiny hair structure which sweeps the mucus and trap germs away upward towards the throat. So that's why the body then coughs them out, and or you swallow them, that kind of thing. Coughing and sneezing are natural way of expelling any unwanted germs entering your airways as well, right? And of course, the white blood cells are very important because they are found in the lungs and airways, and they attack and destroy any harmful, like for an example, like any germs that can get past the first defense and all that. So yeah, so it's a well guarded system, and it's up to us to keep it guarded as well. Okay, skeletal system. So what is skeletal system? Very important. Skeletal system, because it's the body's framework of made up of bones, joints, cartilage, and ligaments, right? Imagine if we don't have our skeletal system, we will be a piece of cloth. Just like you hang a gown in a hanger, right? And then if the dress falls apart, like just off the hanger, then it's like it's lying on the floor. That will be us, a drape of skin without the skeletal system. Okay, so the skeletal system gives us structure and framework for the body, right? So it gives us support, gives the body its shape and structure, and help us to stand, sit, and move. The skeletal system. Okay, so the vital organs the skeletal system will protect. For an example, if you look at the skull, right? The skull protects the brain inside. Okay, and then the rib cage, you have rib cage here. It will protect your heart, your lungs, all the important organs that falls there. It will protect all of those there. Okay, and then of course you got your spinal cord, which is and it protects the spine, protects the spinal cord and all that. So which is important. So the skeletal part of the system here, it protects all the fragile organs, because the brain is just a squishy thing, right? So it needs the skull to protect it and all. Yeah. And the other organs like your heart, your lungs, and all that, they're all soft organs kind of thing. So they need this rib cage. Rib cage is strong, the bones are strong, so they help you to protect and all that. Yeah. Okay, so skeletal system, as what we said earlier, it's made up of the bones, joints, cartilage, and ligaments. And that makes up our skeletal system. Okay, and it gives us support, gives the body shape, structure, vital organs. It protects all of these, works with muscles for movement, very important, right? Having a skeletal system, we will look at it when it comes to muscles. Muscles and skeletal system work hand in hand. If the muscles are dead, the skeletal system cannot, when the muscles cannot move, right, then you will not be able to move at all. So very important. Skeletal system gives us structure, but muscles help us to move. Okay, it also produces blood cells, bone marrows. So skeletal system, your bone marrows produces red blood cells, your white blood cells, and your platelets. Platelets are very important. If you have a cut on your finger, and it's the first um, like level of army coming in to stop the profuse bleeding. If not, if the platelets don't come to stop the bleeding, then you can bleed to death, right? So platelets are very important, and they come there to stop the bleeding from, happening and all that excessive bleeding. Okay, so stores minerals, right? Your calcium, phosphorus, and all that. Okay, your muscular system. Okay, so muscular system is made up of muscles, right? It helps the body move. And muscle is very important. Even your brain is a muscle, yeah. You don't use it, you lose it. I always tell my students that you don't use it, you lose it. So it's important that you use your brains. As we get older and things like that, brain is a very important organ that you need to use it. The more calculations you do, the more thinking you do, learn a new language, right? That helps you to build your brain muscles as well. Learn a new musical instrument or go and learn some dance or something that you learn something new, and it will keep your brains alive and young. And that's very important, right? So brain is important, right? So it's a muscle. Heart is also a muscle. Stomach is also a muscle. Yeah. So we have a lot of muscles in our body, which is important. The muscular system is made up of muscles that helps the body move, maintain posture, and perform important functions. So how does the muscle work? Muscle works together with the skeletal system, which is the bones. So the brain sends a signal to the muscle. Okay, like say the muscle now contract. So contract means it shortens the bone because you're contracting, you're moving your muscle upwards, and then the bone will move. The opposite also, the opposite muscle will relax. So you have both your biceps and your triceps and all that. Okay, and these are important because it helps you to move basically. Okay, how does the muscle work together? The brain, as we said, sends a signal, the muscle contracts. Then after that, when you bend your arm, for an example, when you bend your arm, the bicep contracts and the tricep when you bend your arms. Okay, so skeleton system is like a framework of a car, and the muscular system is the engine that makes the car move. So I told my students, because holidays started, right, for them, and my holiday hasn't started, unfortunately, but their holidays have started. So when they have holidays, I say please do some maths or something, every day practice 5 sums or something like that, because I say it's like a car. If you don't use your car for 1 month, then your engine is going to be rusty and it's going to be harder to start, right? So I say you do not want that to happen, so better practice some things like multiplication or division. So it's like, it's in their memory work, so that it comes back easily for them when they start the new term next term and all that. Okay, so now we know that the muscular system helps the body move, maintain posture, and also produce heat and support the important functions like your digestion, say your breathing, because it's a muscle, right? And body circulation and all that. So it works together with the bones to make movement possible. Okay, now, so what's the main function of the skeletal system?
Option B.
Support
And protect the support and protect the body.
Very good. Yes, it's B. Correct. Okay, now which organ is protected by the skull?
brain.
Brain.
Very good. Yes, the organ brain is protected by the skull, right? So it's important because skull is your head region, and the head region only have your brain there, not your heart or your lungs or your liver. Okay, good. Okay, now which part of the skeleton protects the heart and the lungs?
Rib cage. Rib cage.
Yes, very good.
Rib cage.
Yes.
C.
C, very good. Now, bones and muscles work together, right? To do what? Produce hormones, help the body move, make bile, filter toxins.
B.
Help the body move.
B.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's B, right? Okay, it helps the body move. Bones and muscles work together to make the body move. Sometimes when people get into a major accident, then the muscles are dead, so they become paralyzed or whatever. They have their bones with them, but they cannot move because the muscles are dead, right? So bones and muscles together help the body move, right? Okay, let's mute. Sorry. Okay, now which system gives the body its shape? Respiratory system, digestive system,
Options is skeleton system.
System.
yes, very good. Yes,
C.
C, right? Okay, good job. Yes, it's correct. C. Now, which is produced by in the bone marrow? What is produced in the bone marrow?
Blood cells. B.
B. B.
Option B, blood cells.
Okay.
Why muscles are important?
A.
What is produced in the bone marrow? Yeah, it's correct. It's blood cells, right? So it's B. Okay, B is correct. Why are muscles important? They help us move and maintain posture. They make
Option A, they help us move and may.
A.
A. Yes, very good. A. Can bones move by themselves?
No.
No, no.
No, right? Okay, it says here yes, A, B, only at night. That's strange, huh? Then daytime how, right? So it makes no sense. Only during exercise, oh no. Then other times how, right? So can bones move by themselves? No. You need muscles to move the bones. Okay, so remember that. Okay, good. Okay, which of the following is not? Okay, it's not. The key word is not a function of the skeletal system. So in the exams, remember, when they say not, please take note and underline so you know it's not the correct one. Which of the following is not a function of the skeletal system? A, protection of organs.
D.
B, supports the body, support of the body. C, blood
B.
cell production,
Option D.
digestion of food.
D. D.
Okay, some people said C.
D. D.
Okay, protection of the organs,
D.
yes or no? Yes, right. It protects your it protects your heart and your lungs and all the small organs inside. Then your brain is protected. So it's by the protection of the organ. Yes, it is. This is correct. Support the body. Yes, it gives the frame. Correct. Blood cell production. Yes, it does. Bone marrow, right? Your blood cell production. D has got nothing to do with the food. Food is different department altogether. Digestive system, right? Not skeletal system. Okay. So the answer is D. Yes. Okay, which muscle pumps blood throughout the body?
Heart muscles. C.
Heart muscles.
Okay, yes, very good. Heart muscles, right? Not your biceps, your triceps. Those are found in your muscles, right? Yes. What? Somebody said calf muscles?
No, I said C, heart muscle.
Yes, yes, very good. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Sorry, I heard wrongly. Okay, heart muscles. Yes, you're right. Okay, what happens if muscles did not exist? What happens if muscles did not exist?
Option C. The body
No movement.
want to move.
Yes, that's right. See, right? The body would not be able to move, right? So muscles are very important for the body to move. All right, very good. Now, which statement is correct? Correct, not incorrect, but correct. Bones create movement by themselves. Muscles and bones work together to produce movement. Muscle protects the brain, and bone pumps blood around the body.
B. Option B.
B.
Okay,
B.
good. Yes, we are. Yes, very good. Yes, it's B. Yeah. So muscles and bones work together to produce movement. Just remember that skeletal system and muscular system must work hand in hand. That's the key thing. Okay, they must work hand in hand in order for the body to move or the person to move. All right. Well done. Good job. Okay, now we come to vagus nerve. Okay, vagus nerve. I included this because someone asked me, so I thought, yeah, maybe it's good to know. Yeah. So vagus nerve actually it's a nerve that is connected all the way from the brain, and it's a long nerve. It's connected to the brain and all the way to the different parts of the organ. So it's down here where the vagus nerve. Sometimes when you twitch a muscle too much, right? You can feel that the vagus nerve suddenly your neck portion there, a kind of like a electric kind of shock like that. So vagus nerve. Yeah, it's something that it's important, but at the same time, it's connected from the brain all the way, and it's long. It goes all the way to your legs. The vagus nerve connected all the way to the leg muscle there. Okay, now question with the vagus nerve. What's the main job of the vagus nerve? Help us see, help the brain communicate with the organs like the heart, lungs and stomach, or produce blood cells, protect the brain. What does the vagus nerve do?
Option B.
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 Yes, very good. Okay, it helps the brain to communicate with organs like the heart, lungs, and it's actually connected near the brain stem there. Okay, so vagus nerve is connected all the way there to all these organs here. Which of the following does the vagus nerve help control? Okay, it helps with the A, heartbeat and digestion, B, hair growth, and C, fingernails, and D, bone growth. Okay, very good. Priya said A. Yes, Priya is right. Okay, so A, right? Vagus nerve helps control the heartbeat and digestion. Okay, so these is the most important. Hair no lah. Hair growth doesn't happen there. It's a dead cell, right? So it grows. Okay, now skin as an excretory system or organ, you can say, right? Skin. So skin is important because it actually excretes out the toxins and unwanted waste, removes waste through the tiny sweat glands. You know, when you sweat a lot, it's good because it's removing all the unwanted uric acid, toxic acid, and all that is coming out, right? So sweat actually travels through the pores, like, you know, and yeah. I think in Asian countries we have no issues with sweating, right? It's the Western countries sometimes when they have winter and all that, and that's when the issue is. But for us, I think we sweat quite a lot. Okay, so the extra water is removed from the body. Sometimes even sodium, sodium chloride is also removed in the sweat. So sometimes when you lick your own sweat, you know, when it just drips and all that, it's salty. Yeah, so uric acid is also made up of the body breakdown of the protein that is removed from the sweat as well, small amounts. So, and other amounts like lactic acid, sometimes when people go to the gym and exercise a lot and all that, they also sweat a lot, and that's also form of lactic acid that leaves the body. So sweating is good because it keeps your body clean, it regulates your body temperature, okay, and also helps in the maintaining the balance and support healthy skin as well. Okay, so but do stay hydrated because our body 70% is made of water. So we need water, and we need it to be, our cells need water to stay afloat and all that. Okay, and yeah, so skin is not, skin is our largest organ because from head to toe we are covered with skin, right? So skin is the largest organ as well. So these are the things that is important for you to know. I think question time. Why is the skin considered an excretory organ? A, because it helps us to breathe. B, it removes waste products from the body through sweat.
Option B.
C, it pumps blood around the body.
Option B.
Okay?
Option B.
B.
Yeah, B.
Good. Yes, it's B. Right? So, and the skin removes waste such as like your water, your salt, and small amounts of urea through the
C.
sweat. So which is not needed by the body, it's removed from the through the sweat glands and all that. Okay. Now, which of the following substances is removed from the body through sweat?
Option C.
C.
C. Option C. C.
Yes. Okay, very good. Yes. Very good. You are reading well, huh? Yeah. Because cannot walk with it, right?
Another important function of sweating.
Yes. So C is correct. Okay. Now 17. Question number 17. Besides removing waste, what is another important function of sweating?
Option B.
B.
Okay, very good. Yes, B. Cooling the body and regulating the
Cooling
temperature.
the body.
Very important, right?
Yeah, option B.
Yes, you're right. Okay, option B. Good. Okay, now we come to the ears. Okay, ear is a little bit more knowledge here is needed. Okay, so we have ears here. You have the external ear, the middle ear, and the internal ear. So basically the ear, the function of the ear is to hear sounds and to maintain balance. So it's very important, right? The ear. So you have three parts of the ear. The external ear, okay, which is until it comes to this part only. Then the middle ear. Middle ear is very important. Most of the time, children get infected with middle ear syndrome or middle ear issues, right? Because when they have flu, right? When they have flu and the fluid can actually flow and get stuck in the middle ear. And that's when they get headache or when they have earache and all that. So middle ear is very important. right? And then you got your internal ears, which is the other organs that are there. So it's that part. So the three main parts is, remember, the external ear, which is your outer ear, and which includes the part where there's, okay, let's go to the organ itself. Okay, so this is the external part of the ear, right? So the external part of the ear, you have like something called pinna. So pinna is very important because it's a visible part, but it is the one that collects the sound wave and it's the one that produces the sound. Okay, pinna, right? So it directs the sound through the ear canal. So pinna is important for us to take note of in here. Okay, and then it's like a satellite dish collecting the signals and sending it through. Middle ear. So the middle ear, you will have the three tiny bones. Okay, the tiny bones which will be here, like your malleus, which is like a hammer, and then you have the other one, the incus, and then you have the stapes here. These three are the three tiny bones. Okay, these three tiny bones are important because they vibrate when sound reaches the eardrum. Okay, so it amplifies the sound, makes the sound louder. Okay, and the sound vibrations and all that. So it's like a loudspeaker system that boosts the sound. So when you speak when you make like a your paper, like if you fold some papers and you make it into a cone and you talk through the cone, you see how it's amplified. So the same thing like that. Okay, so through this ear canal, the external ear, comes your the middle ear, which is these three parts. That it's your malleus, incus, and your stapes. So they are like important, that they amplify the sound, make the sound louder. Okay, then you have the inner ear, which is inside the ear. And the inside of the ear, cochlea is very important, right? Cochlea. Okay, because cochlea changes sound vibration into nerve signals to the brain. It sends signal to the brain. Hey, this is happening. Hey, run for help. Okay, there's a fire alarm, and then it's telling them. Of course, you run, right? So it's sending signals. Okay, and the semicircular canals, which is this one, semicircular, maintains balance, like a translator that converts sound into messengers that brain can understand, that kind of thing. So which is the most important part of the ear? Because the most important part is all the three parts: the external ear, the internal ear, and the middle ear, right? Middle ear and the internal ear, because all these three parts helps in the hearing. Cochlea, which is the inner ear, is especially important because it converts sounds into signal for the brain to interpret. So, so cochlea. Then you also have something called a vestibular bone, right? Which is this vestibular nerve. Okay, which is important when someone has got, for an example, someone has got vertigo. Okay, and then that vertigo is not when healing, and then it's not getting better, for an example, right? And what is the cause of vertigo? Sometimes too much of acidic food, right? So so you need to heal your stomach, your solar plexus, and at the same time sometimes heal your head, because acidity can go to the head and that causes headache, and that can also be cause of that vertigo. And if everything else after healing it doesn't work, then heal the vestibular nerve. So this will help because it helps to give you the balance, right? Because it helps you to balance and the eye movement and the spatial orientation and spatial awareness kind of thing. So vestibular nerve is important, right? So most important here that you need to know is external ear collects the sound, middle ear amplifies the sound, makes the sound louder, and then the inner ear converts the sound into messages for the brain and helps with the balance and all that. Okay, so that's the ear anatomy and all that. Okay, question time. What is the main function of the external ear, which is the outer ear? What is the main function of the outer ear? A, maintain balance.
Option C.
Okay, good. Yeah.
C.
Okay, it
Yeah,
collects the
option
sound
C.
waves and directs them into the ear canal. Very good. Yes, you're right. Okay, so that's the main function of the external outer ear. Right. What is the function of the cochlea? Okay, what is the function of the cochlea?
Option C.
Okay.
Create signals.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so it converts the sound vibrations and into nerve signals for the brain to react and all that. So that's a function of the cochlea. Okay, very good. Okay, now what is the pathway, correct pathway of the sound through the ears? For example, the inner ear, right? The inner ear, middle ear, external ear, the external ear, middle ear, inner ear,
Huh?
and the brain. Which
B.
one?
Option B.
Option B.
Okay,
B.
very good. Anyone thinks otherwise?
B.
Okay, B is correct, right? External ear, that means the outer, because when we look at the slide here, you see outer ear, which is the external ear, then your middle ear, then your internal ear, right? So it comes from there. Then after that, it connects it to the brain through the nerves and all that. Okay, good. Okay, which part of the ear acts like a microphone by receiving sound vibrations? Okay, someone said A, some people said C. Okay,
I think
B.
A.
but remember,
A.
A sends a signal to the brain, correct? Like, cochlea, right?
Option C. Pina.
That's right. So C, pinna is the outer ear, right? That's the one that actually it acts like an amplifier. The microphone that the sound goes there, right? So it sends the signal to the sound. So external ear collects the sound, which is your pinna, outer ear, right? So the outer ear collects the sound to send. So it acts like a microphone by receiving the sound vibrations first before it sends the signal to the middle ear to amplify it. Okay, so C is correct. Okay, the answer is C, yeah? Okay, now is part of the eyes. Not too bad. I think we can finish by 9, maybe, huh? Let's hope. Okay, so let's look at the eye. So this is the eye anatomy, and eyes are very important part of our human body, right? It's the window for the soul as well, right? Where we see things and all that. So eyes are the organs of vision. They allow us to see and see the world around us. So important functions of the eyes. It helps to see people, things, and all, detect light, and and all that. So the cornea, okay, the part of the cornea is very important, which is here, right? It actually lets the light let the light enter the eye. The pupil is controls how much light to enter. Okay, sometimes when you shine on a person's eyes, then too much light, then you can see the dilating of the pupil. The pupil gets dilated, becomes smaller, then then after that becomes bigger, that kind of thing. So it controls how much light enters. Iris is the colored part of the eye that controls the pupil. Okay, which is this one, the iris here. So this is your pupil, which controls how much light. So it becomes dilated, becomes bigger or smaller according to the amount of light that is being shone onto the eyes. Okay, the lens helps to focus. This is the lens that focus on the light. Retina receives the image and the light. And the optic nerve, very important. So when you want to heal eyes, optic nerve is very important there, because that's the one that sends the visual image and messages to the brain. So the optic nerve here is important. Okay, now which part of the eye sends visual information of the brain?
C.
Which part of the eyes sends the visual information? Yeah, very good. C is correct. Optic nerve. So optic nerve sends the visual image to the brain. Okay, to tell the, hey, this is the shape, this is the thing, this is how I'm interpreting. So optic nerve. Okay, which part of the eye control how much light enters the eye? Which part of the eye controls how much light enters the eye? A, B, iris, C, optic nerve, and D, cornea.
Iris. Retina.
Chitra, yes. So if you look at this part, the retina, Okay, if you look at this part, the retina, right? So it receives the images and light, correct? So does it suit that one? Then if you look at iris, it's the colored part, right? That actually controls the pupils and regulates the amount of light that should come in and entering and all that. Lens focuses on the light itself, right? So looking back at the question, oops. Okay, which part of the eyes control how much light enters the eye?
Cornea.
Cornea.
Retina.
I don't think so. It's retina.
B.
Wanna try again?
Iris. B. Iris.
Yes, that's right. B, iris. Why? Because iris controls the size of the pupil and regulates the amount of light entering the eyes. So that's why that part of the light, it's being controlled by the iris. Okay, so the answer is B. B, okay? Now, the nose. So nose is the main organ of when we use it to smell things and all that. And it's also an important part of our respiratory system as well, our nose, right? So nose is important because you have to smell and all that as well, right? Now, what is the main function of the nose hair? We did this because earlier on respiratory system you already did. So
C.
yes.
C.
Right? So nose, yes, it helps to track dust and germs before they enter the lungs. Very good. You have been paying a lot of good attention. Thank you. Okay. Why does the nose produce mucus? Why is there mucus in the nose?
B.
B.
To get
To trap dust, dirt, and
To
germs.
trap.
B.
Yes, that's right. B, right? To trap dust, dirt, and germs. So that's why it produces mucus. So when you blow it out, you can see sometimes it's dirty as well. Sometimes certain places when you go, they are doing a renovation or a lot of construction and all that. You can see that these little things, it's in your nose and they are in the side of the nose, never go into your lungs. So these mucus help to trap them. Okay, very good. Okay, which nerve is responsible for sending smell signals to the organ? To the
Olfactory
brain.
nerve. C.
Very good. Okay. Now, olfactory. Anybody else think otherwise? Everyone agrees? What about optic nerve? Will it send?
Height.
Optic nerve for eyes.
Yeah, very good. Optic nerve is for eyes. Vagus nerve was near connected with the brain all the way to the other organs, right? Okay.
For brain.
So auditory is
Ear.
yeah, very good.
Ear.
So olfactory, right? So olfactory nerve is actually to relating to sense of smell, right? So that's why it describes the organs that actually helps to detect any smell or odor or bad smell or good smell or whatever. Olfactory nerve, it's important, right? Besides smelling, what is another important function of the nose?
B. Filtering, warming, and moistening of air.
Yes, correct. It's B, yeah, filtering, warming, and moistening the air. Sometimes when you sleep in an air-conditioned room and the nose, actually, if you touch your nose, outer nose, you see, wow, so cold, right? And then it's by then the nose is working inside to keep your body warm as well, right? So it's trying to adjust to the temperature and all that. So filtering, warming, and moistening the air we breathe. Okay, very good. Hey, that's all, huh? Yay, we did it earlier than the target. I was so worried that we won't be able to finish because it was so long and it took me a long time to prepare too. So I thought, yeah, not bad. We did it by 8:36. Okay, now it's question time. Anyone has got any questions? Or if not, we can end early today. Yay.
Can you teach the eye part again?
Okay, let's go to the eyes. Okay, so the eyes, the most important part of the eyes is you just have to remember the functions of the cornea, the pupil, the iris, and the lens and retina and optic nerve. You see, even when we are healing, right, healing our eyes, we always will heal the optic nerve because that's the one that sends messages and to the brain and all that. So, for an example, when someone has got glaucoma, for an example, right? So we will normal eyes, we will just have the tension will not be at the lens portion, the optic nerve side, right? But when a person who's got glaucoma, the optic nerve and the There's another one called here, the vitreous body. All these will actually be affected areas, right? So healing of these areas, right? Your ciliary muscle, okay, the ciliary body here, your iris, cornea, the aqueous humor, your lens, retina, the sclera, the white color portion there. All these are important because, and the optic nerve is very important for glaucoma because that's the one that sends signal to the brain. So very important part that you need to heal, right? So main part of the eyes, just have to remember just the function. Cornea lets the light amount of light in, so it regulates kind of thing. But pupil is the one that if you take a torchlight and you shine on someone's eyes, you can see it how it dilates, how big and small it becomes. So the pupils controls how much light to be and to allow to enter and all that. The colored part is the iris, where different people have got different, some light brown, some dark brown, some black and all that, right? Or blue eyes and all that. That's the colored part that controls the pupil. Okay, the lens helps to focus on the light itself, right? And that's important. Retina, it receives image so that when the image is in the right portion, that it doesn't turn upside down and all that. Okay, and the optic nerve is one of the most important that sends the right signal to the brain. So the main part of the eyes, right? Not much questions will come out here, but it's good to know some of these parts. And these are the important parts that I've actually taken out that you need to know. The others is not, you don't have to worry about the other part of the eyes. All right. Okay, does that help? Thank you, Bina. Okay, any other
Thank you.
questions you want to ask?
I had a question. You were talking about healing for period pain and things like that. What about for women in perimenopause and menopause? Do you still heal the reproductive organs or?
Yes, and you also will heal the endometrium walls and and the uterus and all that you will heal because sometimes these and ovaries and all that. So even though you're going through menopausal or perimenopausal and all that, right? But then sometimes these can also lead to overbleeding and excessive bleeding and all that because it's trying to clear the blood out of the system, isn't it, from the reproductive area. So it's good to heal all of these things as well. And of course, join us on GMeet when we do period pain blessing. We also heal all the besides healing everyone in the who are in the GMeet, and all the countries are involved, for whichever countries that join us as well in their neighborhood. And also we also talk about the showing gratitude to the reproductive organ as well. So a few of them who had excessive bleeding and and showing gratitude to the reproductive organ had actually helped them during that time, and that the bleeding actually became lesser and lesser, and finally it stopped and all. So do join us in the GMeet. We do Monday to Friday, as and when, and we do touch on that. That particular time we were doing gratitude to the reproductive system because that particular person was bleeding quite a lot, and she even went to the doctors and all that. So after doing that reproductive system gratitude, it reduced, and she said it's finally done, the kind of thing. As a woman, it's very tiring to wear pad. Even I had I think when in 2024 I was bleeding for 2 months. Yeah, it was terrible because I'm in class and I cannot go to the toilet ASAP. And I don't even dare to sit down in the class. And sometimes I'm just stuck in the class for 6 periods, 5 periods, that kind of thing. So I'm not able to move, and I'll wear dark pants because I do not know whether it's leaking or not. That kind of thing. So the moment I have my free period, I have to quickly rush to the toilet and have to change my pad and all that. It's so troublesome and cumbersome. And and I teach the upper primary, so they are also aware of the so you wouldn't want to be staining your pants and things like that. So it gets a bit hard and all, but it's all part of parcel of womanhood. Eventually it will become minimized and all that, but it's good to heal the endometrium wall and uterus, over left and right ovary and all that. Okay, and of course Ajna chakra, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, all these regulates the period as well. Sometimes we might think it's perimenopausal, but then sometimes it's just bleeding. I mean, even when I went to the doctor, I was kind of surprised. I'm not even close to that. I'm like, what? I was happy that I was going to be going through menopause already, right? But then doctor said, no, I'm far away from that. I was like, what? Okay, because sometimes after a while you get tired of wearing pad. Only women will know, yeah? Okay. Any other questions?
Sorry, Chitra, one more question. What about people in menopause and the decline of estrogen levels? So, do you still then heal ovaries, or should you be healing the adrenal gland? If you could just let me.
Yes, you should be healing the adrenal glands as well, the left and right adrenal glands. But at the same time, certain food helps with the estrogen level dropping. You see, like certain food like the soya bean, the tofu, and all, they've got extra estrogen, right? So these kind of food actually helps to boost and regulate it as well. Yeah, so look at the certain food and diet that helps with the drop in the estrogen level as well. Yeah, and the left and right adrenal very important.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? Before we can end the session. And all of you can have an early, rest and all that as well. And next week we'll have it on Friday for